worth and not a penny more, admitting they were alive and did the work of their days. They bore mites as for unfledged birds, who now will have now to rise and fly and sing for themselves, accepting the rough deific sketches to fill out better in myself, bestowing them freely on each man and woman. Yeah, they were okay for their time, he says. But he thinks they're like little mites bearing newer fruit for his own time that should fly higher, he thinks. Well, I don't think that's happened. We're still right where he was in terms of these things. But he thinks that things are going to move higher than that. 43, I don't despise you priests all time the world over. My faith is the greatest of faiths and the least of faiths. Closing worship, ancient and modern, all between ancient and modern, believing I shall come again upon the earth after 5,000 years, eternal recurrence, he believes in, oracles and so on. The Lama, the Brahmin, we've heard. He knows about all this stuff. He's been to the library. He's educated himself. Dancing through the streets in a phallic procession. He knows about the Shastras and the Vedas and the Quran. He knows things. And the Gospel. 44. It's time to explain myself. Look, let's stand up. Let's get this thing finally straight once and for all. Again, I don't know if he does. I'm trying to get to the end of this thing. Where's the end of this thing? Oh, I'm almost there. 45. My lovers suffocate me. My rendezvous at the end of 45 is certain, appointed. The Lord will be there, and I will wait till I come on perfect terms with the great camerado. He'll talk about the camerado again. I tramp a perpetual journey. No friend of mine takes his ease in my chair. I have no chair, no church, no philosophy. I lead no man unto a dinner table. 47, I am the teacher of athletes. The boy I love, the same becomes a man not through derived powers, but in his own right. And this is a beautiful one here. I teach straying from me. If you've ever read Nietzsche, thus spake Zarathustra, that is actually a line right out of Nietzsche. And I think Nietzsche probably took it from him, not vice versa, because he wrote 40 years before Nietzsche. And I'm sure this was translated into German. Bet you that he, into subconscious, took that line, I keep straying from me. If you know who Nietzsche is, the famous European philosopher, late 19th century. So I guess we're finally at the end of this 48. So the summing up is coming here. I have said that the soul is no more than the body. And I have said the body is no more than the soul. So here we're getting a final summation. And nothing, not God, is greater than to one than oneself is. Very Hindu there, the self, as high as the Brahman. And whoever walks a furlong without sympathy walks to his own funeral dressed in a shroud. And I, or you, pocketless of a dime, may purchase the pick of the earth, and a glance with an eye or show a beam, he's the man of the open road, the hobo, if you like, on its pod confounds the learning of all time. There's no trade or employment, but the young man following it may become a hero. A little bit of karma yoga there. And therefore, no object is so soft, but it makes a hub of the wheel universe. And I say to a man or woman, let your soul stand cool and compose before a million universes. And he's aware there are a million universes. And I say to mankind, be not curious about God. For I am, again, this is a total religious tract. For I, who am curious about each man, am not curious about God. I hear and behold God in every object, yet understand God not in the least. I think most of us think that too. We see God everywhere, but we do not understand Him in the least. Very universal statement, and I think it's as honest as he can get. Nor do I understand who there could be more wonderful than myself. And I also think that I'm wonderful. And I think we all think that too. And I challenge you to tell me that you don't. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something in God every 24, each morning. The faces of men and women. I see God in my own face in the mirror. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoever I go, others will punctually come. And as to you, death, you bitter hug of mortality, it's idols who try to frighten me. As to you, corpse, I think you are good manure. But that does not offend me. I smell the white roses, sweet scented and growing. I reach to the leafy lips. I reach to the lost breasts of melons. As to you, life, I reckon you are leaving of many deaths. No doubt I've died myself 10,000 times before, just like the Hindus seem There is that in me. I do not know what it is, 50, but I know it's in me. I sleep long. Do you see, oh my brothers and sisters? It is not chaos, death, it is from union, plan, it is eternal, it is happiness. And then he says, do I contradict myself, 51? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. So there's another incredible little line at the end here. I don't mind, don't tell me I contradict myself. I don't really care if I contradict myself. Don't give me that thing. I am glad I contain multitudes. So one day I'm going to say one thing, the next day I'm going to say something else. Two, you know what, blinking back. That's the way I am, and that's the way the world is, and I'm bigger than having to you worry if I've contradicted myself enough. And I don't even care if you do think I contradict myself. 52, the spotted hawk sweeps. He complains of my gab and my loiter. He knows he's gabbing and loitering, same as I know I am doing that with you. I am a bit tamed. I am a bit untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yaw